Good morning, traders. It's Tuesday, February the 11th. Not a whole lot has really changed in what's going on with the markets here. More or less the SP 500. Beautiful, what looks to be a nice reversal day yesterday, meaning the market gap lower, sold down, washed out, and ended up having a strong rally. Actually, it sold off in overnight trading, then rallied up the opening bell, and then from there on, the market just rocketed higher and closing near all-time highs. Today, equities are trading up another quarter to 0.4% higher, so we are back into all-time highs again. We are long the SP 500 with the 2x leveraged ETF, the SSO, and we're expecting this to keep going higher. Now, if we zoom out on this, the overall trend, this here is just a simple consolidation, meaning we should see a fairly decent rally going forward. Here we had a consolidation, we had a nice rally, we had a consolidation, nice rally, little consolidation, another rally, and this here's a nice size consolidation. This is very similar to this one over here, and so the bigger the consolidation, the bigger the potential going forward. So we could start to see this run and take off if Trump gets reelected. Who knows? We could see this market just continue to march its way up and just go parabolic. But overall, the trend is up, and we are long the equities at this point. We are also long bonds. If we take a look over at, let's pull up the chart of bonds. Bonds have been holding up. They've got this big bull flag formation. It's consolidating here. We have been slowly scaling out. We took some profits off with bonds. This could continue to consolidate for a little bit through this area. Hopefully, it will hold its ground with a nice bull flag formation in here. That would be the ideal setup. And then this will eventually break to the upside going forward. Overall, the sentiment is slowly shifting away from the safe havens at this point, simply because equities are hitting all-time highs. It's going to hit the news today, which means investors, traders are going to start to pile back into stocks and pull back out of the safe havens, which safe havens are bonds and precious metals. So bonds are down about 0.5% this morning. If we look over at gold and silver, they're both down about almost 0.5%. They're kind of bouncing around a bit. Overall, looking at the chart of gold, we've got a couple of strong down days. This looks to be a little bit of a bear flag. This could continue to consolidate and move lower. Overall, though, the pattern here is still very bullish. If we look at this price action at this point, we've got a nice pennant formation. It's had a very nice run to the upside. If this can start to break to the upside, we'll be off to the races. I think a lot of what precious metals is kind of being held down is the very strong rally in the dollar. Now, if we take a look over at the dollar, look at the move in the dollar over the last month and a half. It's just been going up and up and up. We are getting into some recent highs through this whole consolidation area. So if the dollar does start to roll over, we're going to see, I think, metals hold their ground very well, if not rally to some new highs. So overall, the metals are doing fairly well considering the strong rally in the dollar. Looking over at gold miners real quick, GDXJ, of course, gold, silver miners are down today. It is trading at 40.80, so it's down just about 10 cents from yesterday. Again, similar pattern to gold, a little bit more bullish in terms of this kind of price action. We're trading right up near these highs. We're in this nice kind of bullish formation, this pennant formation, however you want to draw it. And if we can start to break to the upside, then I think we're off to the races for a fairly significant move for the miners sector. Looking over at silver, again, consolidating in this small pattern. Overall, had some noise and chop. It's just kind of trading sideways until we get a big either sell-off in the dollar, or we see the equities market start to roll over and we see people pile into the safe haven. Silver is just going to kind of, I think, track along sideways to lower until that point. Looking over at energies, natural gas up 0.4%. Overall, still stuck in this downtrend. It couldn't break through the 5-day moving average and continues to kind of lose its value here. Eventually, we're going to start to see it form some basing formation. Potentially, this will be some type of basing formation going forward. We'll just have to see where price plays out. But overall, eventually, we could see it flag and trade in here for a bit and then eventually have a pop and start to move higher to these upside targets, and maybe we'll get into a play. Once this shift in momentum from the downside turns to the upside, then we could look to potentially get long. And that's what we did over here. We got long over here, we got long over here, and we caught both of these moves. We got a little fancy trying to pick the bottom. We did take an extra small position with no leverage this time, hoping the market was going to bottom somewhere right into this area, but it continued to devalue and move down. So now we're going to be looking for some type of basing formation like we saw over here, and for us to get some type of opportunity to get in for a strong recovery down the road. Looking over at crude, up 1.6% this morning. Again, it looks like it's putting a little bit of a double bottom here. It's chopping around, consolidating. This is a really significant area right across here. These lows, these highs, this is a really significant resistance area, which it was support. It broke right through it, and now we're trading through this area. Now it's kind of got this new range. And the more it consolidates here, the more potential it has for a stronger breakout. If it breaks to the downside, we could see a continuation, a pretty strong move. If it breaks to the upside, we're going to be heading back up to probably this 56 area. This type of pattern playing out here is very similar look and feel to what we saw over here, which obviously this one recovered and broke to the upside. We'll see how this plays out. But overall, this looks more bearish in terms of it's trading under these resistance areas. There's lots of selling volume going on, and we'll see which way this breaks to the going forward. Taking a look at this ETF, I just came across this one yesterday. The symbol is SEA. It's sea shipping containers, and obviously with this the virus, things are on halt, things are shut down, and you can see the drop we've seen from this the coronavirus went from $10 a share down to $8.23 a share. Huge volume ramping up. Obviously, there's even there's freight liners stuck out there. There's cruise ships with people sick on them that are being refused by countries to let them in. I think there was news this morning, something about 4 countries. A cruise ship is rejected by 4 nations. The cruise ship is out there floating around with a bunch of sick people on them, and nobody wants to be on the ship, and nobody wants to take the ship on. For spread of the virus. So there's a lot of bad stuff going on, and we just broke 1,000 people have died from it as of today. And obviously, sea shipping containers are way down, and this could continue to ramp up. It might be overdone now. If you look at, we're getting down to a pretty oversold price. But again, it depends how much this virus spreads and extends. They're saying mid-February, late February, it should peak out. But if it blows through that level and picks up speed, I think we could see this continue to break down, and we can start to see it affect the economy more. We won't see it so much until the next quarter's earnings, when products don't arrive, people can't sell products. I think it'll take a while to catch up, but overall, you can see how it's really affected the shipping containers going forward here. Anyways, that's it for this morning. I'll talk to you in a little bit.